Επιστρέψαμε κυρίες και κύριοι με το δεύτερο μέρος της εκπομπής Ευρώπη Τώρα, πάντα στο Thrakinet και σε συνεργασία με το Europal TV. Ας δούμε όμως το επόμενο μας θέμα που αφορά την Ενεργειακή Ένωση. Τα πρώτα βήματα. Πόσο σύντομα μπορούμε να αλλάξουμε τις ανανεώσιμες πηγές ενέργειας? Επίσης, τι γίνεται με την πυρηνική ενέργεια? Και τελικά, ποιος θα πληρώσει το λογαριασμό?
One of Parliament's big files to finish before the year end is Energy Union. Not the whole thing, it's so wide and complex that will take years. Just the outline framework strategy. At its heart, efforts to make Europe less dependent on Russian gas imports, more reliant on diverse supplies with renewables high up. Decarbonisation and energy efficiency are also big components. The key task is to bring together 28 member states with different energy mixes and different regulations. Marek Gurbarczyk, you're the MEP who's steering through a framework document on the future of energy union in Europe, a highly complex subject which involves issues like the use of renewables and CO2 emission reductions, also energy security. And we've got several questions from experts in this field which we'd like to put to you to test out your thinking so far on these issues. So let's jump straight away to the first one.
According to the European Commission and to independent studies, the best way to achieve these goals is through ambitious objectives for renewable energy and for energy efficiency. So what do you think you can do to ensure full support for renewables and for energy efficiency?
It's difficult to completely remove another energy production source of energy in the currently situation. Our economy, our energy production is supported by coal production, so that problem to change completely energy production in this part of Europe, it's the matter many years.
Poland has to work out what is the new balance, which is different from its current balance, which is very heavy and very dependent on coal usage at the moment. If you look at a country like Germany, it has agreed to phase out totally the use of nuclear power and to increase significantly the use of renewables. Why can't Poland do the same sort of thing?
Germany, it's a different position. They have, I think, the 20 nuclear power points. They have different area to the renewable production because the lights, first of all the photovoltaics, and second turbo winds works in the different area. We have to change, absolutely, but it's the matter of the time and the matter of the possibility.
Okay, let's go to our second question now. Here it is.
Europe has to reconcile competitiveness, sustainable development and security of supply, a challenge that no member state of the European Union is able to achieve alone. What is your position on promoting to that purpose a balanced carbon-free mix based on nuclear and renewable generation?
We want to support all energy production and to keep the three pillars and balance between them, it's very important. And we have to remember that we have the Lisbon Treaty, what said the basket energy production, that's the matter of the countries. So the countries depend on and decided what the energy production is.
Okay, let's go to our last question, and here it is here.
Ma question, comment comptez-vous convaincre le secteur privé de réaliser des investissements dans le domaine des énergies vertes? Et d'autre part, comment pouvez-vous garantir qu'au final, ce ne sera pas le consommateur, et donc le citoyen européen, qui payera l'addition de ces investissements coûteux que réaliserait le secteur privé?
Price of energy has to go down to 20% because we are uncompetitive comparison to America, comparison to the other part of world. So that's the matter of cooperation between private sectors and regulators.
Okay, Marek Gurbarczyk, many thanks indeed, and good luck with the journey of your report. Thanks a lot.
Το Ευρωπαϊκό Κοινοβούλιο δίνει το πράσινο φως για τον έκτακτο μηχανισμό μετεγκατάστασης 120.000 ετούντων άσυλο σε όλη την Ευρώπη.
Winter is coming, quite literally. But winter might also be coming metaphorically for the European Union if we are incapable of action in the next couple of days and weeks.
The verdict was unequivocal. MEPs were not particularly forgiving to EU interior ministers as they could not find a final agreement after the meeting on September 14th in Brussels.
What is happening there is a shame.
The council meeting on Monday was a disgrace.
Id-dinja kollha kienet tħares lejn l-Unjoni Ewropea imma fallejna. Lanqas l-standards tagħna stess ma stajna nilħqu.
Επειδή λίγες κυβερνήσεις της δεξιάς και της άκρας δεξιάς μπλοκάρουν την αναγκαία απόφαση.
I really urge you to vote for this urgent procedure.
Claude Moraes and Martin Schulz secured the vast majority of their colleagues' vote on an emergency relocation scheme redistributing asylum seekers across the European Union. On September 9th, MEPs had already approved with an overwhelming majority a plan to relocate 40,000 migrants from Italy and Greece to other member states. According to Frontex, 500,000 migrants and refugees found their way to Europe between January and August 2015.
Σκληρή αντιπαράθεση με την Επιτροπή για τις φορολογικές αποφάσεις. Τι γίνεται με τα νέα φορολογικά μέτρα, αλλά και το ρόλο του Jean-Claude Juncker στο ζήτημα του Λουξεμβούργου.
It's near the end of Parliament's Special Committee on Tax Rulings set up after the LuxLeaks on multinationals' tax avoidance, and MEPs had a chance to question the European Commission, Mr Juncker particularly on his role as Luxembourg's former Prime Minister.
Are you ready to report systematically which role you played in the tax haven aspects of Luxembourg?
Ich habe in Luxemburg kein System der Steuerhinterziehung oder der Steuerhintertreibung oder der Steuervermeidung erfunden.
Instead, he stressed the need for fairness and tax transparency.
Le marché intérieur est incomplet lorsque le paysage fiscal reste parcellisé, composé d'éléments contradictoires.
For many MEPs, one key demand is for member states automatically to exchange information on special tax rulings.
Ich glaube, dann können Steuertricksereien deutlich einfacher in Zukunft festgestellt werden.
For other MEPs, the address by Mr Juncker was a whitewash.
He has missed the opportunity to rebuild his credibility in tax matters in his new role as President of the Commission.
MEPs will vote on the special committee's recommendations in November.
Τι θα τρώμε το 2025? Η Ευρωπαϊκή Ένωση αναθεωρεί παροχημένη νομοθεσία για τα νέα τρόφιμα. Τι ακριβώς όμως είναι αυτά? Ας ρίξουμε μια ματιά στα πιο ενδιαφέροντα.
Hello and welcome to the not-so-distant future. Well, not really much has changed. Well, apart from some new means of transport. Ah, what's this? Novel foods. Well, there's an EU regulation on novel foods that dates back to a time long, long ago, the year 1997. But it was so old that some almost 20 years later, the European Parliament gave it a reboot. Before 1997, specialist or very unusual foods that had a small consumer market fell under the category of novel foods. Every country was responsible for deciding what was a novel food. But today, there's a centralised EU procedure. So what are novel foods? Well, novel foods can be produced or isolated from the cells or tissue cultures of animals, plants, microorganisms, algae and fungi. Professor Mark Post has created the first hamburger cultured from the cells of a cow.
We actually are producing meat. It's just not in a cow. The stem cell techniques are very useful for growing beef. We take a few cells from a cow, they divide by themselves, and if we provide those anchor points, the future tendons, they will self-organize into muscle. So a few cells that we take from this cow can turn into 10 tons of meat.
Foods that undergo production process can also come under the banner of novel foods, like, for example, nanomaterials, like the ones being used in this lab in Brussels.
Les nanoparticules sont des particules dont la taille est typiquement 1/1000 du diamètre de vos cheveux. Elles sont utilisées en alimentaire comme colorant. Par exemple, dans les dosettes de lait, la couleur blanche crémeuse est donnée par les nanoparticules d'oxyde de titane, ou comme conservateur et édulcorant. De par leur très petite taille, la réactivité de surface est très grande et donc elles sont potentiellement toxiques. Il est donc nécessaire de continuer, d'avoir davantage de recherches sur ces nanomatériaux.
The aim is to encourage innovation in the agri-food sector. And do you know what all else you can eat? Insects, just like some of these house crickets.
We make different kind of products with it. Here is dried crickets. Here you can see cricket meatballs. So in comparison with cows, to make the same amount of as proteins in a cow, they need 25 times less food. They need 300 times less water, and they produce 60 times less greenhouse gases. So yeah, it's tasting really good.
We can also now eat traditional cuisines from far-flung third countries, provided they have a 25-year history proving that they carry no health risk to consumers. And what about cloned animals? They're expensive to produce, so it's unlikely that we're going to find them in our hamburgers. And what about the offspring of cloned animals? Well, that's another story. They will be treated like novel foods until specific legislation, which is currently being checked by the Parliament, gets adopted. The European Food Safety Authority checks that foods are safe for us to eat. As the saying goes, prevention is better than a cure. If the EU cannot properly ascertain whether a product is safe or not, for example, if the science isn't behind it, it won't be allowed on the European market.
Το Ευρωπαϊκό Κοινοβούλιο παρακολουθεί τις συζητήσεις για τις συναλλαγές στον τομέα των υπηρεσιών. Τι γίνεται με τις διαπραγματεύσεις για μια νέα πολυμερή εμπορική συμφωνία?
The EU is the world leader in trade of services. In 2013 worldwide, they yielded a €173 billion surplus. So it comes as no surprise that it's deeply involved in the current negotiations on a trade in services agreement, covering areas such as passenger rights, movement of workers, and e-commerce. But the way negotiations are taking place doesn't agree with all MEPs.
La plupart des gens ne savent même pas qu'on est en train de négocier, dans le plus grand secret, un accord énorme sur les services. Et de ce point de vue-là, d'ailleurs, c'est moins transparent encore que le traité transatlantique.
MEPs are watching closely the negotiations between the European Commission and 23 other countries.
We need to get the European interests and the reciprocity applied. That will be of utmost importance.
Other MEPs have reservations on what is being negotiated.
We as Greens will get involved in that discussion and try to make sure that no public services, for example, are touched, that on financial services we will still be able to regulate, and that always the interest of the European citizens is put forward.
A formal report will be published in October.
Μείωση των εκπομπών ρήπων κατά 40%. Καθώς το Ευρωπαϊκό Κοινοβούλιο προετοιμάζεται για τη διάσκεψη για την κλιματική αλλαγή στο Παρίσι, ταυτόχρονα πιέζει για να ετεθούν φιλόδοξοι αλλά και δεσμευτικοί στόχοι για το 2030.
Pushed aside by the economic crisis and the more recent refugees crisis, climate change has been overshadowed by the European political agenda. But debate on global warming is once more put to the fore ahead of a crucial UN climate conference to be held in Paris in December. In a report adopted by a large majority, the European Parliament is pressing for ambitious and binding targets to be reached by 2030.
Il y a urgence, c'est le combat du siècle, donc nous devons faire en sorte que Paris ne soit pas un sommet international pour essayer, mais un sommet international pour décider une politique implacable.
The failures of the 2009 negotiations in Copenhagen are still a lively wound in the European memory. But there have been significant scientific and political advances since, giving rise for optimism for Paris.
We've got to get these targets right, clearly endorsed by all who must meet them, and we've got to make sure that we're able to audit them and deliver against them. Otherwise, we're not a strong player at Paris, just as we were not a particularly strong player at Lima.
As Parliament needs to ratify an agreement reached in Paris, a delegation of 15 MEPs will also be there, sitting at the negotiating table.
Η Ευρώπη αναζητά απαντήσεις για τη μεταναστευτική κρίση. Το Europal TV κάνει επιτόπια έρευνα στην Κροατία αλλά και την Ουγγαρία.
Crise des migrants dans l'Union, le Parlement européen a appelé les États membres à faire preuve de plus de solidarité. Les eurodéputés ont soutenu le projet de relocalisation de 120 000 demandeurs d'asile séjournant principalement en Italie et en Grèce vers d'autres États membres de l'Union. Europarl TV s'est rendu en Hongrie et en Croatie sur la route des migrants. Beli Manastir, petite ville croate située à 5 km de la frontière hongroise, est devenue en quelques heures le point de chute de milliers de migrants bloqués dans leur avancée vers l'Europe de l'Ouest par la fermeture de la frontière serbo-hongroise. Les conditions d'accueil y sont sommaires. Le long de la route principale, Ahmet et sa famille ont trouvé refuge dans une station-service. Ils ont fui la Syrie.
When the start of the war, everybody know now in Syria you can't leave. You have Daesh, you have Al-Nusra, you have many. As you see, the children and the women sleeping in the street. Everyone and every government you have to put in your heart. That's kids and that's women like your kids. I have to go to Sweden.
Why?
My family is there. Her father, my wife, her father is there, and her mother and her family all live in there since 2 years.
Les autorités locales s'organisent tant bien que mal pour faire face à l'afflux de réfugiés. Une structure d'accueil est montée, mais sa capacité sera très vite dépassée. En 4 jours, la Croatie a accueilli plus de 20 000 migrants, un chiffre qu'elle s'attendait à atteindre en un mois.
This was a former military base. There was no electricity, water, toilets, etc. We established everything, tents. They have only one goal, to cross Croatian and Slovenian border. They don't want to stay here, they just have on their mind to leave this town and to continue their trip to Western Europe.
Go inside, go inside, go inside. When all people are in, then the train will start.
Coûte que coûte, poursuivre sa route vers l'ouest. La gare ferroviaire de Beli Manastir est prise d'assaut avec l'espoir d'embarquer dans un train pour la capitale croate, Zagreb. Les trains sont bondés, les occupants sont épuisés par des semaines de voyage. La plupart viennent d'Irak, de Syrie et d'Afghanistan.
And we are going to Zagreb. After that, I wish can arrive to Slovenia. Okay.
After Slovenia, you want to go to
Vienna. After that, to Germany. It's difficult. Of course, it is difficult and dangerous. So many things happen when you're on your way. I think sometimes maybe I die because the way.
Et le manque de coordination sont criants. Après des heures d'attente, une partie des réfugiés est embarquée dans des bus et dirigée vers la frontière hongroise. La Croatie est arrivée à saturation et force la main à Budapest pour qu'elle laisse transiter les migrants sur son territoire vers l'Autriche. Au poste frontière, les migrants sont débarqués de bus croates et ensuite montés dans des bus hongrois. Le jeu de passe-passe de migrants entre pays européens continue. Depuis l'été 2015, la pression migratoire sur les pays des Balkans n'a fait qu'augmenter, poussant la Hongrie à construire une clôture de plus de 175 km sur sa frontière avec la Serbie. Elle menace de faire de même avec la Roumanie et la Croatie.
It is basically a fundamental right of every state to determine who comes into that state and who leaves. Schengen is extraordinary because that transforms that into a much higher level. But still, as far as the European Union is concerned, the European Union imposes obligations on the Schengen member states that they should register who's coming. And what Hungary is doing is sending a message to the migrants that if they come to Hungary, they've got to go through the official crossing points.
Pour le président hongrois Viktor Orbán, le message est clair.
So if we would create an impression that just come because we are ready to accept everybody, that would be a moral failure, because this is not the case. So the moral human thing is to make clear, please don't come. Why you have to go from Turkey to Europe? Turkey is a safe country. Stay there. It's risky to come. We can't guarantee that you will be accepted here.
La solution à la crise des migrants viendra-t-elle de l'Union européenne? Les 28 États membres ont décidé de se répartir 120 000 migrants contre l'avis de la Hongrie, la Slovaquie, la Roumanie et la République tchèque. L'Union débloquera aussi une aide de près d'1 milliard d'euros destinée aux agences des Nations Unies en charge des migrants. Mais cette réponse semble bien maigre face à la plus grande crise migratoire qu'ait connue l'Europe depuis la Seconde Guerre mondiale.
Επισκεύασε, επαναχρησιμοποίησε και ανακύκλωσε. Το Κοινοβούλιο θέλει αλλαγή της Ευρώπης σε κυκλική οικονομία με πιο αποτελεσματική χρήση πρώτων υλών και μείωση των απορριμμάτων.
Every European citizen consumes, on average, 14 tons of raw materials per year and produces, every year, 5 tons of waste. And yet this waste, these products and these materials could be reused, repaired or recycled. This is the principle of the circular economy, a concept promoted by the European Parliament. The aim is to move away from the linear model that's been predominant since the Industrial Revolution. It's time to break with the take, make, use, dispose pattern of growth. In its place, we're to have a circular economy, where the life cycle of products is extended to reduce the use of raw materials and the production of waste. Raw materials, design, production or remanufacturing, distribution, consumption, use, reuse or repair, collection. Residual waste leaves the cycle. Recycling of what can be recycled. In order to reinsert these raw materials at the beginning of this new endless cycle. Applying the principle of the circular economy, the European Parliament wants to increase resource efficiency in the EU by 30% by 2030. More value would be produced with fewer materials and consumption would be altered. This could boost GDP by nearly 1% and create an extra 2 million sustainable jobs.
Κάπου εδώ, κυρίες και κύριοι, ολοκληρώθηκε η εκπομπή Ευρώπη Τώρα. Εμείς να ανανεώσουμε την εκπομπή μας για την επόμενη εβδομάδα την ίδια ώρα εδώ στο Thrakinet. Σας ευχαριστούμε που μας παρακολουθήσατε. Καλή σας νύχτα.